Hey guys, during this quick demo, I want to show you how easy it is to set up a two-way sync between Snowflake and Google Sheets using Bracket. So let's say you keep your user data in Snowflake, but you want to give your customer support team the ability to toggle certain features for users, as well as the ability to document user feedback from the onboarding experience. With Bracket, you can leverage G Sheets as a way to read and write data in Snowflake to achieve exactly this. So here in Snowflake, we have this table with our users' data. You can see that we've got the customer name, their onboard date, their current status, flags for what features they have access to, and then a currently empty feedback column. We've set up a Google Sheet with a subset of those columns, but you can see that our Google Sheet is currently empty. So to set up the sync between Snowflake and G Sheets, all we have to do is go to app.useBracket. So I've already filled in our connection details for Snowflake here, but what I want to highlight to you, what I think is really cool about Bracket, is you can have SQL logic sitting between Snowflake and G Sheets. So here I've put an extract query where we're selecting just certain columns from Snowflake and we're filtering to where status equals live. That should get us just 3 of our users. Down here for our secondary data source, we're going to pick G Sheets, although we could also do Airtable or Notion. We're going to grab the spreadsheet ID from the URL. We're going to type in the worksheet name, which we can see here is user data. And then we're going to identify the primary key. The primary key is just a unique identifier in your Google Sheet, which helps us map record to record. And in this case, it's user ID. So the sheet's already shared with eng@usebracket.com. We want to set up a two-way bidirectional sync, and our G Sheet is empty. So we'll initiate the review of that sync. And right now, Bracket is going to run some tests in the background before initiating the first sync, basically making sure that the sync will run as expected. In the meantime, I'll show you this page. So here we can see that we can change the display name to something perhaps a bit friendlier. We'll say Snowflake Demo. We can also turn the sync on and off once it's running. We can change its frequency. And then down here, we'll be able to see how the fields map to each other once the sync is running, as well as the history of all of the syncs, whether they're successful or if there's an error. So if we go to G Sheets, we should be able to see the initial sync from Snowflake come through. So we should be able to see 3 rows coming in shortly as the sync is running, and here they go. And like we said, it's just these 3 because of the filter that we applied, where we just have where status equals live. So it looks like Snowflake to G Sheet syncs are working. Now, if we change some details here in G Sheets, those should sync back to Snowflake. So for vPorter, we're going to say that feature tier 3 flag is true. We're also going to add some feedback from his onboarding experience. Ask great questions about the product. We'll do the same here for Charlie Nash. So we'll turn feature tier 1 flag to true, and we'll say generally seemed uninterested in the product. Okay. Now, if we go back to Snowflake, the data hasn't refreshed yet, but the sync is running in the background. So this feedback is still null. If we refresh this page, we should see, once we select the correct warehouse, the data flowing through. So the feature tier flags are all true. We have feedback populated. And then for Charlie Nash, just feature tier 1 flag is true with our feedback populated. So in summary, we set up a two-way sync between Snowflake and our Google Sheet using SQL logic to filter just to where users are live. And we were able to add context to this data here in the Google Sheet and push that back into Snowflake. Now, one thing to highlight that I'm not showing in this demo is that you can select which fields are syncing one way and which fields are syncing bidirectionally. So if you only wanted your G Sheets users to be able to make edits to the feature tier flags as well as the feedback column, you can do that and have just these fields be writable and the other fields be read-only. So with SQL logic, as well as the ability to choose which fields are syncing one way versus 2 ways, you really have full control over what your non-technical team members can read and write back to your Snowflake. Great. Thank you for watching.